Okay, let's start YouTube recording. John, thank you for coming today.
It's my pleasure to be here at Taisho. Good to see you again. It's
Yeah,
been maybe 1 year. I think it's been 1 full year since our last video.
yeah, exactly. For the first time, I tried to record YouTube movie with you
Yeah.
1 year ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, when I talked with you 1 year ago, I don't remember all the information what we talk, but I'm looking forward to recording YouTube movie again with you.
Me too. I can't wait to compare them. I don't remember what we talked about either, but I remember a little bit. I remember we talked about.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Yeah, a little. I remember we talked a bit about why I wanted to move to Japan long ago, why I went to work for Rakuten, and maybe some encouragement to people who might want to learn Japanese or visit Tokyo, maybe live in Tokyo. But what I'm really excited about here is to hear more from you and to
Okay.
talk a little bit more in English, because
Yes.
I don't know how much your viewers know about your personal experience, but you live in America now,
Yes.
and you have lived in America for 1 year or 2, I guess 1 full.
No, 11 months.
Mm,
In 1 year, in 1 month, it takes 1 year, but 11 months.
11 months.
Yes.
I can't wait to compare the videos. Anybody who watches our first video and then
Yeah.
watches this one, they're gonna see that I'm talking faster.
Yeah. Last time I remember, I don't remember most of the information. Your memorizing ability is very high.
Ah,
My memorization is not so good, but I remember you try to speak as slowly as possible.
I
But
do.
now your speed is up
And your
than
level is up.
prior.
And you understand me constantly. It's amazing. I
Yeah,
think practice makes perfect, right? That's the English phrase. If you keep practicing, you get perfection. Practice makes perfect. You are evidence that practice makes perfect. You have given it your all, and you embedded yourself in an English speaking culture. I think that's the ticket. I think that's the only trick, that you have to do it every day, and you have to be excited about it.
yes.
And you've got both of those things. So look at your level. You've leveled up and then leveled up again. It's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. And if I don't meet you for the first time,
Hmm.
it's impossible to improve my English skill, and it's impossible to try to enter a US MBA program
Mm.
and to live here. So I appreciate John from my heart. Thank
Aw,
you, my friend.
the feeling is mutual, my friend. The feeling is also, you can pay me back. After you become a millionaire, just give me $1 million.
Okay. I wanna share something, not only money, but also something. Yeah,
You
sushi. I don't know.
Sushi, yes. You know what? Forget the $1 million. Let's just have some sushi together.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And I think some people know who is John, but for the first time, I wanna ask you one question, John.
Okay, sure.
Could you introduce by yourself a little bit, and what do you do now?
Happy to.
Yeah.
1 year ago, I was a different person, a little bit of a different person. When we spoke a year ago, I was running a very small startup studio. It was me and a few other friends, and we were trying to come up with business ideas that we could create without investment. We were trying to make some smartphone apps or AI-driven applications, something that we thought would be so exciting to users that we could build it in our spare time and it would start making money just automatically. And we had a little bit of success, but not enough to pay the bills.
Okay.
So you can understand, they call it
Yeah, I
run.
understand. It's very difficult to earn money developing software.
Yeah.
So but nice challenge. Nice try.
It is a good challenge, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge. We made a lot of very cool software, very interesting applications. We made something for multi-track music recording. We made something that was a new social networking application, and we built an AI-driven tool that helps people create teams to tackle a very big dream. But all of that, very good experience, but I also had to do contract work to pay my bills. And one of those contracts turned into a full-time job. One of my clients that wanted me to help them build software for the tax industry,
Okay.
they asked me to join them full time, and now I am their director of software. We are creating a software development team, and we are transitioning a tax company into a tax software as a service company. So I'm very excited. It's big changes since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, anyway, congratulations on
Thank you.
finding a full-time job in the US. I know it's very competitive and it's so hard. So congratulations, John.
Thank you. I was very lucky, I have to admit. And if anybody is watching this and they're wondering what's the trick, how do you get a job in today's market, in America, no less? I have some maybe sad news, but important news. It's who you know. It's all about networking. If you know someone, that's probably where you're going to get the job. If you're applying and your resume is in a stack of resumes, it's very difficult. Even I tried to find a job just applying at different companies. It was very hard to get a call back. And I have almost 20 years of experience as a software maker. So yeah, very, very difficult. But so thank you so much. And Taisho, I want to hear more about your successes. How are you?
No, not my success. My success is very limited, and but yeah, I want to talk about more. Next topic is but I want to say one thing. Probably John told us you worked as a contractor. After that, you got full-time job through this entity.
Right.
So I think it's very important thing find good opportunity to work, doing some projects with each other, and after that, ask them to give some opportunity, full-time job or building some business with each other. This is the best tactics to find a job. John, and I have a little bit handicap. I'm immigrant now in the US and very, very competitive.
Oh,
So since I came to the US, I tried to, but before coming here, I keep making and trusted relationship, doing some small projects, opening a sushi party or something.
right.
So I think it's very important thing to do something.
Totally. I think, Shota, you're better at that than me. I think you are exceptionally good at making strong connections with people. You're a very authentic person. You're genuine. You're real, and people can tell. And people make real connections with you, and they want to help you after they know you. So, yeah, I agree. That's an important tactic. Good luck with that very competitive industry. If I can help in any way, please let me know.
Thank you. I will ask about US tax or something. You got this type of job.
I'll help as much as I can. I'm still a software guy, but I'm learning more every day about taxes.
Makes sense. Okay. And John, I want to change a little bit topic. I want to talk about, do you remember the first time when you talked with me?
Oh yeah, on the building, on the top of the building, kind of a breezy day, beautiful view of Tokyo. And yeah, I remember that.
Oh, really? I see. Your memorization is amazing and unbelievable. I don't remember.
I don't know. You were at home, so maybe it's just another day for you. But I was in my favorite place in the whole world, Tokyo. So maybe it's easier to remember, you know.
Very special time for you.
Exactly.
It is because you came to Tokyo as a traveler.
Right.
But for me, it's normal life, usual life. So
right, exactly. Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you, have you heard about the digital nomad visa?
Digital nomad visa? Yeah, I listened to this type of visa.
Yeah.
But why did you ask this question?
I learned about it very recently. I think Japan, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I heard that Japan this year is creating a digital nomad visa. Most tourist visas are 3 months, 180 days.
Yes,
no, I'm sorry,
exactly.
90 days. 90 days.
90 days, so 3 months. Okay.
Right. And the digital nomad visa is twice that, 6 months, 180 days. And
I see. I didn't know this precise information, but I see.
It's exciting because someone like me, you know, my dream is I want to own property in Japan.
Yeah, I know your dream. Yeah.
It would go back and forth. So maybe digital nomad visa is my way to live half the time in Japan, half the time in America. So that's my new dream. In fact, this year I'm going to start looking for real estate in Japan, in Tokyo really, but also around Tokyo.
Okay, and you have another option. Probably Japanese government started providing entrepreneur visa.
Oh,
and
really?
this requirement is probably 5 million Japanese yen.
Okay.
It's necessary to invest as a stock for the first time, but not so expensive money.
Yeah, that's
and this is very flexible visa. I want to recommend you this type of visa.
Thank you.
Yes.
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur visa. Got it.
Yes, please research more concrete information. And I get this type of information with many people. It is because I have many friends, entrepreneur friends, not only in Japan now. So
gotcha. Yeah, you're a global citizen now.
Yeah, I want to try to become global citizen.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's success already. Just keep going.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, okay, so the first time when we meet, a little bit difficult to remember, but 1 year ago, we recorded YouTube movie with each other. Do you remember the situation and my English image? What did you feel? You talked a little bit already, but I want to ask this question again.
Yeah, I don't mind. I do remember that. I remember, you know, your English is actually very good and was very good a year ago, even. When an American person, I think, let me just speak for myself. When I hear a Japanese person speak English, I'm always amazed because I know how difficult it is to learn a new language.
Yeah, you understand.
It's very impressive when someone speaks 2 languages or more. But I do remember that you were still pretty new to English. You were still getting better and better. And I always try to match the English level of the person I'm speaking with if I'm speaking with someone who speaks English as a second language. Or sometimes, even if I'm talking to someone who is maybe very, very young. I have a godson who is only 7, and sometimes I'll match his English level as well. I try not to use big words or speak too quickly. I can tell that your English level has gone through the roof, sky high, because I feel very comfortable speaking at this speed with you, and I can tell you understand everything. So I remember that. I remember that was your level, and maybe you want to talk about other things that were happening then. I don't think you lived in America yet. Had you come to visit yet? Had you visited me yet when we spoke?
I have visited your residence.
Yes, and
When?
going back.
Yes, after I quit my president position in
Mm,
Japan, I
mhm,
promise you I will go to your residence.
right.
And it was so fun for me. I stayed about 2 weeks
In
or
2
something.
weeks. It was very
Yes,
good for you. Yeah.
yes. At the timing, I was very struggle to speak English than
Mhm,
now.
mhm,
Now I have some problem how to communicate with each other in US and in English, but
mhm.
it's better. It's not so stressful now.
That's great.
But at the time, I remember I talked with John in your residence, uh, but I this type of
Right.
speed, and I did
Yeah,
this type of speed.
yeah, yeah. You have grown quite a bit. Now I remember you came, you stayed for 2 weeks, you went back to Tokyo, and then I
Yes,
went to Tokyo and I saw you there.
yeah,
And we did a sushi making party, which was incredible. So
yeah.
fun.
Thank you for coming our party. Yeah.
I still tell people about it. Um, tell me later how I can send you more customers because I know people who go to Japan. They would love to do it. It's a great time. Um, and yeah, you came over here, and first of all, everyone understood you. Everyone enjoyed talking to you that you met. I introduced you to some friends of mine. We went to have steak together, and I believe you met a Japanese entrepreneur here in Atlanta. Someone who has multiple restaurants in Atlanta. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So you were always making deals. You're always meeting people, always succeeding. Anyway, yeah, I remember that situation. I guess after I came to Tokyo and we recorded our video,
Yeah.
uh, a little bit later, you were accepted to a university in the
Yes,
university.
MBA program, and
Yeah,
I shared this information. And John helped me how to prepare for interview,
oh right,
English
I remember
interview.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was very afraid to have interview in English. I haven't experienced this type of experience, not yet at the
right,
time.
right.
So I appreciate you at this point too. So
You did it. Look at you. You are still there after a whole year. So it's all because of you. Your skill got you where you are. Congratulations.
thank you. So now my problem how to communicate in English is the problem is a little bit changing.
Yeah.
For example, I'm struggle to adjust accent,
Oh,
many types of accent.
sure.
Uh, my experience to stay in the US, in Atlanta, in San Francisco, very limited.
Yeah.
There is diversity in the US.
Oh yeah.
I understand. But
Yeah.
I live in San Francisco now, so there are many types of English. Indian sound and Chinese sound English,
Right.
and some types of English are struggle for me to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So this type of problems, I didn't have this type of problems before coming here. It is because most of the test, TOEFL and TOEIC, this type of test,
Uh-huh.
most of the sounds are American English.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
and
that's true.
and my teacher, how to learn English. My English teacher is you, John. So for me, American, I think the people who come from Georgia or Atlanta
Yes.
speak very easy understand English
Mm.
for people who learn American English. I think so. So
We should make some sort of school where you only speak to like Southern Americans. Maybe there's untapped potential there. Maybe Southern Americans are gold mine for language teachers. I
oh
don't know.
really? I see.
Maybe we do speak a little slowly. New Yorkers are supposed to be. The stereotype is that New Yorkers speak very fast.
Oh, I see.
Is there a California accent? Can you tell differences between Georgia and California?
California, the people whom I talked with in Atlanta, Georgia, are very limited. The number are very limited.
Yeah, me and my wife.
Yes, but I feel more diversity in San Francisco.
I agree.
It is because the fact is around 40% from Asia.
Huh.
And the people who come from Mexico or something,
Right.
there are many types of English. And I participate in MBA program. Most of the people come from other country, not from US.
You hear a lot of international English
Yeah,
then.
international MBA school.
Yeah.
So I feel this type of thing, there is diversity. And I want to share one example. Not only speaking English, but also other aspects. I felt diversity in San Francisco.
Okay.
For that, we provide sushi party in San Francisco. Some people eat sushi by salsa sauce or something, not soy sauce. Well, what? I can't believe it for the first time.
That's fusion.
Yes. But it's so fun for me. I had buyers. When we eat sushi, we have to use soy sauce or something.
Right.
But this is wrong. I could understand. Oh, it's okay. Sushi has variety and diversity. I love this type of thing, and I could learn not only English.
Me too. I think that is America's core strength, the diversity of our people, because we're a nation of immigrants. And so the idea is that by coming together and breaking down our biases, we make something that is better than any individual could be. If you had not discovered eating sushi with salsa, maybe you would never try. But
yeah, never tried.
Maybe that's the future of sushi. You know, maybe in 50 years, Mexico will be making the best sushi you've ever had. There's only one way to find out, is to try and mix those cultures and find out what comes to the top. I think you raise an interesting point about accents. English is currently what they call lingua franca. Lingua franca. Yeah, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it's lingua franca, but it's an old term that really just means the language of the world, or the language of business. It's not the literal translation, but French used to be the language that everyone used to do diplomacy or business. Now it's very much English. Maybe one day it will be another language. But because everybody is learning English, we have American English in the South, Northeast English, Canadian English, Mexican English, Japanese English, Indian English, UK English, Australian English, all slightly different accents, slightly different slang. And this can be very difficult for someone like you who learned English, and maybe in Japan you thought, I've got it, I figured out English. And then you come to
yes, and I think John are getting used to listening Japanese English. It is because you worked in Rakuten for a while, and you have Japanese friends, including me.
Right.
But the people who come from Japan and to stay in the United States, the number is reducing. So there is very limited opportunity to listen Japanese English. Since I came here and I'm getting used to listening English and speaking English, after that, I started the habit to listen many types of English, including YouTube English. So Indian sounds, Indian English sounds, or other types of this type of English, I
Yeah.
started to listening. Before coming here, coming to San Francisco, I listen only American accent English only.
Nice. Well,
And I have many friends who come from all over the world. This situation is very good. I can adjust many types of English.
oh,
So
that's perfect. I think you did it right, though. Kaizen. You started simple. You learned the slow Southerner English, and then you level up. And
exactly. For the first time, Southern slow speed English.
right.
And so you are the best teacher for the first time. But I want to improve more,
Yeah.
and more. I have to use English in business situation.
Right.
The purpose for me to learn English is building business. So very simple.
I,
So
I have a question for you.
uh,
What phrases have you learned that you can use when you don't understand someone? If I say something and you don't know what I mean,
I
or
beg your pardon or something.
yeah, what kind of
Like,
things do you say?
yeah, I say this type of word
Mhm.
phrases, and I don't translate from Japanese to English already. I think about in English, and yeah. So, for example, you ask me, "Oh, I beg your pardon." I say this type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
But the probability that I can understand English
mhm.
is higher and higher.
Yeah.
I reduce using this type of phrases, but sometimes I cannot understand what other people say.
Right. I only ask because if your viewers are watching and they're thinking, this is my problem. I understand John's English, but I don't understand the English of the people I work with because they're in the UK or something like that. Um, I think that when you're at that level and you're trying to learn to understand different accents, the only things I can suggest are two things. Number one,
Okay.
practice, just like you're doing.
Practice.
You just, there's no way around it. You have to keep doing it. And so, number two, um, get very comfortable learning a few polite phrases that indicate you didn't understand. Because
Right.
even to me, I can talk to someone from England and they can say something and I don't understand what they said. I've been
Okay.
speaking English my whole life. She's been speaking English her whole life. And we say two English things and we don't understand each other somehow. The only solution is be very comfortable being very friendly and being able to say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Could
Or
you repeat that?
yeah,
Okay.
I beg your pardon. That's very good. I say in Japanese, sometimes I will say uh, uh, something like mo chotto, mo iku. It's been so long since I spoke.
もう一回いいです
Yeah,
か?
mo ikai de
Could you
onegai.
speak again?
Yeah, but I feel that my phrases are a little rude. If I say mo ikai onegai shimasu, I
Yeah,
feel like,
お願いします is very polite.
is it?
Yes, very polite.
I always worry when I'm in Japan. My Japanese, I can think in Japanese, I can read Japanese, but when I start to speak Japanese, I get very scared because I don't want to offend. I don't want to say something like "もう一回で," you know. I don't want to do that and sound like I'm. Hey, say that again. I don't
Yeah,
want.
I don't say this type of phrases in English too. I feel strong sympathy
Yeah.
with your episode. So yeah, it's
Mm,
very hard to overcome language barrier and ask, please, could you tell me again or something. So, but it's important thing. And
important.
when since I came here, mm, I mimic the sounds. For example, the other partner speak English, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and I mimic, for example, hypothesis or something. I know this meaning, but
Nice.
for the first time, I didn't know this word meaning. It's a little bit long, but
Uh,
hypothesis, blah blah blah, hypothesis. hypothesis, could you tell me, could you say again?
Sure.
And a hypothesis, I mimic again. And
Nice.
could you tell me the meaning? I ask this type of thing, and I catch up all these type of phrases and words. This is
Perfect.
my way how to learn English.
This is brilliant. This is exactly the way. And the one part that you're not saying, because you're very humble, is this requires courage. It is not easy to build up courage to say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Or what does that mean? And to mimic a person. But it's such a good idea. I do that too when I'm learning Japanese, or actually when I joined my new company. I noticed that everybody signs their email the same way at this company.
Okay.
No one told me to change my email signature, but everyone else says regards, comma, their name. And so I changed my email signature. Now I say regards, comma, John.
Okay, makes sense.
To copy people.
Yes, copy. And I could understand it's okay to copy and mimic.
Right.
It's very useful.
Right.
But in very serious business situation or something, it's very difficult to use these tactics.
That's true.
So
Good point.
I think making friends, and the best friend is having same interest.
There
For
you go.
example, John and me are interested in software
Right.
developing process or something.
Right.
If we have same interest, it's easier to ask this type of question. I think
Right.
so.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, these are good. These are good tips. You've got to get comfortable with mimicking people and being okay with asking for reminders and clarification. I have that same problem. So if
So
you're
really,
watching and you're learning English, just know that even native English speakers, we sometimes don't understand each other. So if you hear something that you don't understand, it's normal, it's natural, and just be polite and ask for someone to repeat or maybe rephrase. Sometimes you could say, could you rephrase that, right?
and
Hypothetical word.
mastering hypothesis and mastering synonymous words or something.
Hey, synonymous. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit complicated word, but I could learn this type of new words. I keep using English every day, so it's very important thing to practice.
Do you dream in English now?
Once I could dream in English, but
Yeah.
very limited to have dream. It is because in real life, every day I have a dream. So when I sleep in the bed,
Yeah.
I don't have a dream
Oh,
in sleeping time. This is the reason. So
hey, that's all right. I sometimes still dream in Japanese, even though I haven't been
really?
to Japan in a long time. And usually in my dreams, I am trying to speak Japanese and getting it a little bit. But I follow a lot of Japanese Instagram, and so I still read a lot of Japanese, and I still think about it a lot, but I don't have anybody to speak to. So maybe my brain is trying to help me stay practiced.
Makes sense. Okay. But thank you, John. I want to move to last question.
Okay.
Time flies. It's very enjoyable time. I can believe it. It passed over 30 minutes already.
Wow.
Yes. So we will move to last question.
Okay.
Last question is, do you have something that you want to tell for people who try to reach the culture? You told us how to learn English, not only English, how to learn foreign languages, but how to reach the culture. I think this meaning is a little bit different. So
I hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask this question.
Such a good question. Such a good question. It's very difficult, isn't it? you will sometimes offend people if you don't understand their culture. And if you're afraid to offend someone, then maybe you won't reach out and bridge the culture at all. So there's a middle ground we have to find. You know, I think my best advice that I can give
I wanna
is,
listen. Yeah.
if you're a person who wants to bridge a cultural gap or a cultural divide, then you should treat yourself like the visitor. This is easy if you are a visitor. If you go to Japan, if you go to China, if you go somewhere, it's very easy to be humble because you know you're not at home. And any cultural difference, you can just expect to be wrong. When I go to Japan, if someone treats me in a way that I think is maybe rude, it's very easy for me to remember, I don't know if they're being rude or not. I don't know. It's a cultural gap. And
Okay.
it's important to be forgiving. Just accept that maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's rude in your home, but it's not rude here. If you can get over the idea of being offended, and if instead you can be very giving and very open to the other person, then I think everything else is easier. You have to never get offended. Always give the other person the, in English, the phrase is the benefit of the doubt. Have you ever heard this phrase before, the benefit of the doubt?
I don't know. I didn't know this phrase.
When I give you the benefit of the doubt, what I mean is, literally, doubt means maybe, maybe I'm wrong. I doubt something. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong. And it's a benefit to you because it helps you. So the benefit of the doubt is, I will assume maybe I'm wrong, and that will help you. When you give someone the benefit of the doubt, they do something that seems offensive, and then you go, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't offensive, and you forgive them. It's no big deal. If you can give people the benefit of the doubt, you can overcome all the other cultural differences, I think. The only major problem with bridging a cultural gap is thinking that what offends is the same everywhere, and it is not. There are things that you can do in one culture that are totally normal, and in another culture, they would never do it. So, Shota, can you think of an example, maybe something that is typical in America, but would not be acceptable in Japan? Can you think of any examples? Maybe
Not
tattoos, maybe,
acceptable.
or leaving your shoes on in the house?
Okay. I will share one interesting example. I was very surprised. Not all American people, but some people celebrate their birthday by themselves. The meaning is, so the people who have birthday party, they try to open birthday party by themselves. But in Japan, probably most of the Japanese people
Yeah,
don't do this type of thing.
yeah,
Uh, friends open birthday party for themselves.
right.
So it's a little bit difficult to accept this type of thing as a Japanese. This
It
is one
feels it feels
example.
proud, right? It feels like they're throwing themselves a party. Everyone
Yeah,
comes,
I was very ashamed to do this type of thing.
right?
My birthday is February 25th,
Uh,
and I opened my birthday party. Oh, Shota, you have to open sushi party. No sushi, so birthday party.
birthday party.
And but I'm ashamed to collect many participants for my birthday by myself.
Right.
But you have to do. So I
Interesting.
tried to open American style birthday party
Great
for the first time.
Great example. Now imagine you were in Japan and I came to Japan and I went around and said, please come to my birthday party. It would be so strange. Why is John inviting me to his own party? So this is a
Yes,
really
yes,
good example, but there are millions of examples like this. And
yes.
when you
There are many examples.
you just need the benefit of the doubt. This is why it's been easy for me to be friends with you, Shota, because I know your heart. You're a good man. You're a very kind and generous person, very smart, very thoughtful, very considerate. And so because I know that you have very good qualities, if you ever did anything that I thought would be offensive, and you never have, but if you ever did, I would go, Shota didn't mean it that way, and it would be fine. And I hope the same is true for you. I think that might be my best advice for bridging the gap. Be the visitor, give the benefit of the doubt, and just keep an open heart, open mind, and you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
open mind. Yeah, it's very important thing.
Yeah.
Okay, John, thank you for very useful information, how to learn foreign languages, how to bridge the culture. I learned a lot from today's YouTube interview too. Every time I talk with you, when I talk with you, I learned a lot. Thank you for today's recording. I was very happy to talk with you today.
Thank you, Taisho. It's great to see you again.
Yes. So, see ya. Let's finish.